Hi, this is Jundo. Behind me are the graves of long dead Buddhist priests, now cold ashes in the ground. They are the remains of priests of the Shingon Buddhist temple that is directly to the north of our tree leaf Zendo here in Tsukuba, Japan. This temple has been here for over 700 years, catering to the people of the village here, trying to meet them in their times of loss, their times of fear, their times of sickness, to rescue the sentient beings. And these old priests failed in their mission. Now, don't get me wrong, actually, they didn't fail at all. They did the best they could with what they had at the time. You see, these old priests from 200, 400, 500 years ago knew a world that was so difficult, so hard. And Buddhism seeks to rescue the sentient beings. Now, some of the people listening may misunderstand what that means. They will say, oh, isn't that about just dropping our sense of self to reach emptiness, to reach enlightenment, to be beyond this world of sickness, health, and sometimes death? And yes, you're right. And these old Shingon priests, they had their practices in order to do that. But that is not the only meaning of rescuing the sentient beings. This was a very poor area, without much education, without doctors, without all the things we now take for granted. And people here struggled and they died. And these priests, they did the best they could for the villagers here. The Buddhist mission has also been to bring comfort, to bring peace to people who are suffering, to people who are fearful. And the priests did what they could with their ceremonies, with their comforting words, their teachings. Because this has also been part of the Buddhist mission for hundreds of years, to meet the poverty, to end the violence and war. There are even samurai battles right in the neighborhood here, times of violence. These priests did what they could, and they succeeded. They succeeded in doing what they could, and they are to be honored for that, and I honor them. But they also did not reach the root of the poverty, of the violence that maybe doesn't plague this little village as much as it did a few hundred years ago, but is still so present in this world. Now, new means are coming. Are we a cult of the past? Do we only worship the past? If we do, then we're as cold and dead as those ashes there. Do we only turn to methods and means that existed in the time of these priests? That would be a mistake. The methods they had, the methods we have today, are beautiful and help so many of us. But new methods are coming. We must not only live in the past, we must not only practice today, but we must think of the world to come. Can Buddhism, in combination with science and technology, new understandings of medicine, of the human brain, of the emotions of our heart, nanotechnology, and yes, AI, genetics, can these be combined with Buddhism to do what these priests tried to do for their parishioners so many hundreds of years ago? And not only for this little village, for the world. I tell you, they are still alive with us. And we must finish the mission they began, using these new means, these new ways. Otherwise, Buddhism is just a cult of the past. Buddhism is just worshiping something as cold as the ashes in that grave. But the future is alive with possibilities. Let us not turn from it.